video, we're going to be making Irish walking tacos. And what makes them Irish walking tacos is that we are making them on potato chips instead of on tortilla chips. So your ingredients are going to be some ground beef, 4 to 8 ounces per person depending on appetite, 2 ancho chilies, 7 guajillo chilies, 2 tablespoons of butter, 12 ounces of those frozen onions and peppers, 2 to 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, seasoning of choice, garlic, salt, pepper, some all-purpose seasoning, kettle chips, and those are important because other chips are going to get a little bit too soggy, some tomatoes, red onion, lime, lettuce, and cilantro to make some pico de gallo, and then some sour cream and avocados if you want to have those in there. This is going to be kind of a very personalized dish, so you can kind of choose what you would like to include and what you don't want to include. So to start out with, we are going to be making the meat mixture. So you're going to take all your chilies and cut the end off of them and remove the seeds, and then place those into a heat-proof bowl. And cutting the end of those off with some kitchen shears is probably the easiest thing to do. Then you are going to pour boiling water over top of those chilies and let them sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. And that is going to let them hydrate a little bit and soften so that we are able to follow our next couple of steps. And while you're doing that, you can be doing your next couple steps. So you're going to add some butter or oil to your pan and then heat that on medium-high. And in this particular case, we're using a little bit of both. And then we are going to add your peppers and onions into there. If you don't have the peppers and onions, you can just use onions and that'll be just fine. And you just want to get those brown. You could add some garlic at this stage as well, but you want to wait until your onions are brown before you do that. Then you're going to add your beef into there and get that browned up as well. Then you are going to squeeze a little bit of tomato paste into the beef. We are not going to add a whole lot of tomato in there, but just a little bit. And stir that in. Then we are going to pull the chilies out from the water with your tongs. And you can strain out the rest of the chilies if you'd like to, but most of them will come out with your tongs. And then you are going to place your chilies into a cup. We found that stainless steel tumblers work great for this just because they are not going to break. And put a little bit of that water in there as well. And then you are going to use an immersion blender just to puree those chilies until they get to an even consistency. And you may need to add a little bit more of that water as you go just to get it evenly mixed up. It's going to look like this. So then you are going to continue browning the beef while you're preparing those chilies, and that can all be cooking down just to kind of overlap your task a little bit. And then once that beef is browned up, you are going to add in some seasonings and then stir in your pureed chilies. Make sure you scrape out every bit of those chilies because that is where all your flavor is. Then you're going to taste it and adjust your seasoning as needed and add in what you think it needs. And now a word from our sponsors. Does anybody have any of those? Because we could really use some, because we don't have any. So if you want to help us out, just hit that subscribe button. We are trying to reach 1,000 so that we can start making a little bit of revenue from ads. So hit that subscribe button to help us out, and it's absolutely free. So while your beef is browning and while you're working on cooking those things down, you can prep some pico. You can also do this ahead of time and have this sitting, because the longer this sits around, the more those flavors marry together a little bit. But you're going to cut any of the brown off the bottom of the tomato, and then cut the tomato, cut the little stem end out of the tomato, and then cut the tomato in half. Then you're going to cut 4 or 5 horizontal cuts, and you don't want to cut all the way through the tomato. leave a little bit at the end, and that's going to hold the tomato together as you're making these. You're just making a little grid in the end of the tomato. And then turn it 90 and cut 4 to 5 times straight down. This is going to work a lot better if your knife is sharp. I am not peeling the tomatoes this time just because I like having the peels in it sometimes. If you want the full recipe for this, check out our pico de gallo video, and it's going to show you how to peel, seed, and chop these to make it a little less runny. But for this particular case, I like having a little more juice in there. Then you're going to turn it 90 degrees and dice this into cubes. And then you're going to take that end piece and cut that into cubes. And then just move those into the bowl and repeat with your remaining tomatoes. And this ended up being very pretty because I got some heirloom tomatoes and they tasted amazing. So then you're going to remove the leaves from several stems of washed cilantro. And if you have that gene that makes cilantro taste like soap, you can leave this out. And get yourself a little pile of that. And then you're just going to run your knife through it in both directions, scraping it together a few times and chopping it up until it gets into a fine little pieces. And then you're going to add that into your tomatoes. Then shave the bit off the root end and the stem end of an onion. I like using a red onion for this just because it makes it really pretty and tastes very nice. And then you are going to cut it in half through the root, and this is going to make sure that the onion stays together as you're cutting it and makes it a lot easier to cut. Then you're going to peel the outer layer off with your fingers. Then you're going to make 7 to 8 horizontal cuts, making sure that you don't cut through that root. Then turn it 90 degrees and make 7 to 8 vertical cuts, also making sure not to cut through. This is going to hold the onion together so that as you are dicing it, it's not going to all fall apart and go all over your cutting board. And then turn it 90 degrees and chop into a dice. And this is going to make pieces small enough that it's not going to overwhelm your dish. And that's really important because onions tend to have a strong flavor, especially certain ones. So you want to make sure these pieces are small enough. Then you're going to take about 1/4 of that onion and add it in for about 3 large tomatoes. You might need to adjust this amount. You can always add onion in, but you can't take it out. So just save whatever you need to in a little bowl, and you'll be able to adjust the flavor once you taste it at the end. Then you're going to roll a lime under the heel of your hand and then cut that in half. Rolling it kind of releases the juice and makes sure that you are able to get that juice out of there pretty well. And then you are going to squeeze that lime juice into the tomato mixture. You can stick a fork in there to release the juice as well, but limes usually juice pretty well without having a juicer or anything. And for this amount, it's going to take the whole lime. And then you're going to season it with some salt, pepper, and stir that up. And then taste it, and then you might need to adjust your seasoning a little bit. So then we are going to prepare your lettuce. You want to slap that head of lettuce on the cutting board, and this is going to help us get the core of that out. Then turn that lettuce up and pull the core out with your fingers. And it should pop out pretty easily. Then you are going to shred the lettuce into bite-sized pieces, and you do want these pretty small because you don't want to end up with a piece that you're going to want to cut up in the walking tacos, so make it pretty small. And then we are going to begin with our assembly. So first you're going to cut an avocado into slices, and if you want some more detailed instructions, check out our how to cut fruit video. But basically you're just rolling a knife around that pit, scooping it out with a spoon, and then just cutting into slices. Then you're going to grab a wide bowl and add a bed of chips. And if you want to do this with tortilla chips, go right ahead. But we're doing Irish walking tacos with our potato chips, and it sounds strange, but this is absolutely amazing. Then you're going to add a little bit of lettuce and some of your meat. Obviously, this is really personalizable, so if you are wanting to set up just a little buffet with things so people can add their own stuff, this is a great way to do it. Then add a little bit of your pico and sour cream. And store-bought salsa would work great for this as well. And then just lay out your avocado on the side, and you are ready to serve. And this is a great combination of fresh items and cooked items, and would work great for holiday meals where you could set up a buffet with a wide range of toppings. It's something that you can customize for your whole family and just include things that your family enjoys. It's a great way to use up random ingredients but fill out things if you don't have a whole lot of stuff. So I highly recommend it. This is just a reminder of our 2 different membership levels. We've got a 20 quart and a 5 quart level. We would love to have you as a member, but as I mentioned earlier, subscribing is a great way to help our channel as well. Thank you so much for watching. Leave us a comment if you decide to try this out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next week.